boys screws loose, they done stripped the bolts on them. Shoulda never sent them to pick up the work for me. Sprayed the park and had my shit inside the car. Marcus Smart boy was shooting with a 36 on him. Said if he wasn't in the rush, they was all goners.
All right. Greetings, Chudlings. Welcome to another episode of Chuddy's Corner. It is Sunday, April 27th, and the Celtics take a commanding 3-1 lead in the series against the Orlando Magic. Down in Orlando, get a 107-98 win tonight. Feeling good, feeling great. Magic tried to suck us into their bullshit. We didn't let them. We gave them the right amount of their bullshit back, tempered where we had to. This was fun. Chuddy, I'll bring you in. How you feeling tonight on this win?
Feeling good. I mean, it's playoff basketball through and through, getting in the mud a little bit, battling, physical, getting pissed off, yelling at the TV. That's what it's all about, getting the blood flowing and coming out with a win, all things considered, going back home 3-1. Got to be pretty happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Frustrating game. These games, I mean, I always ask where you want to start and then I tell you. So I'm just going to tell you right now where we're going to start. These games are a fucking grind. And like, I'm not even... Sometimes it borders on, like, I'm not even sure if I'm enjoying myself watching some of these games. It's obviously the Celtics. We love watching the Celtics, but, oh, my gosh. I mean, there's a lot of good things to pick at, and we'll talk about that, obviously. Tatum had a great game. Jaylen's defense, especially in the third quarter, was just, like, unbelievable. Porzingis is a bounce back. We're going to kind of get into all, like, the individual player stuff, but just, like, the game, this style of play, like we were talking before the show, it's like it's nothing we've seen from the Celtics. If you've been watching the Celtics all year, you're like, what the fuck kind of style is this? And I think it's taken us a little bit of time to adjust to it. It looked like today we did, especially down the stretch in the fourth, kind of just said, all right, fuck that. We're going to take over this thing and did that. Got a pretty convincing win as far as this series goes. But what do you make of like the style of play? Am I crazy to say it kind of sometimes the drag to watch? I mean, 2 hours into the game, the fourth quarter hasn't even started. Kind of feels like some of those like old baseball series in the playoffs, just like the longest games ever. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's kind of the equalizer for the Magic. It's almost like one of those NCAA tournament games where you got a 1 seed against some mid-major, and you could tell they're just, using all 30 seconds of the shot clock. Then they're pressing on the other end. They're doing everything they can take to just slow the game down, stop the game, not let there be any flow, because it's like they know if the big juggernaut blue blood school gets going in open floor for 4 minutes without a whistle, they're fucked. And I mean, that's kind of what it feels like. That's kind of what we talked about going into the series. I mean, I think when we previewed it, we nailed it. It is frustrating, but it's exactly what we expected. Like, this is what we said was going to happen. And I mean, not to oversimplify, just go look at that final score again. What did we say? Score 100 points, we're going to win the game. That's been the case every time. Yeah. As soon as we hit 100, I'm like, all right, I feel pretty good. Because sure enough, the Magic can't score more than 100 points. Despite their best efforts. I mean, they got some other solid contributions. Corey Joseph showed up finally, hit some shots tonight. Paolo shot a little bit worse, but Franz had a good game, some good finishes. So it's like they're going to scrape by. Their best players are going to combine for about 50 points, and they're going to get almost 50 from the rest of the guys, like by hell or high water, and that's about it. And then other than that, they're going to scrap. They're going to battle. But yeah, I mean, good job. Like you said, it's definitely not the most fun game to watch. It's not the one where like you're going to rush back to ESPN Classic this game in a few years and be like, I really want to go back and watch that game 4 from that Orlando series. But I think it is like a good, valuable type of playoff win. And as much as it's not like the best, it's not that Celtics porn. It is good to just like show that we can win this way. And it's like, all right, you're going to make us play like this. We're going to ramp up the defense. We're not going to back down. It's not like you're not that like big tough guy that's going to come bully us just because we're this like more finesse style team. Like, we'll gladly battle you back. We picked up the defense. We cut down the turnovers. We took away their won the rebounding, like all the things you want to do, check those boxes. And again, it's like, do I want to win all 16 games like this on route to the title? For sure not. But we're not going to see defense like this from the Knicks in the next round, any of these other teams, whatever. So it's cool to see the Magic
getting out of the way early. I mean, the Magic are the second best defense throughout the league. It's not just like second best now. Yeah, best in the East. So they're mucking it up. You're right about as far as the Celtics porn goes. 31 3-point attempts, only 9 of those, 9 for 31 for the Celtics tonight, which is pretty low, and it's just like disgusting. Yeah. It is pretty crazy.
Super impressive by Orlando.
Yes. Well, Scal did a good job pointing it out, too, where it's like they're not doing what every other team does against us, which is collapse everyone around Tatum. So It's kind of interesting to see like it almost worries me that this is like there's tape of this because it is interesting. I don't know if every team has the ability to do it. I mean, that's obviously if every team could do it, they would do it the same way we say with the Celtics. If every team could make threes and generate shots like we do, they would do it. It's not like everyone can just do it. But yeah, it is just kind of a weird thing. It's like because it doesn't feel like we're being pushed around, but it does kind of feel like there are sometimes like they almost have like this trump card because like by just getting more whistles, it helps them out. So there's nothing really we can do. It's not like, to me, it doesn't feel like this like super physical, like defensive matchup. It's just like fouls all the time. It's not like steals, blocks, and turnovers and stuff like that. It's just the clock is always stopping on the foul.
I think there's some of both. I mean,
it's a grind. It's a slog.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, really physical too. And I think that's partially the way they play. And I think a lot of teams have tried to say they're going to take away the threes, but it's like, okay, are you really going to do it? And the Magic really commit to it. And again, it's like you want the Celtics to just realize that's how they're playing and be like, go, 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 both the Jays practice. And they finally did, and I feel like that's when we got going. And again, if you factor in pace, 107 points is really not bad at all against this defense. Played pretty well. We're just getting it from such a different way. So yeah, we made 9 threes, but we made 30 free throws. So some insanely good free throw shooting.
Which is different, very different
both of the Jays. But I mean, that's, again, we talk all the time about what makes the Celtics offense great. Take what the defense give you. Usually that's Tatum drawing 2 guys, kicking out for threes. They're three, it's a 3 parade usually, because that's usually what the defense gives us. Because again, most teams aren't just going to sit there and let Tatum and Brown destroy them one-on-one all night. The Magic are willing to, credit to them. And they have, again, the personnel. They have a lot of really good defenders, and a lot of really tough physical defenders, and a lot of length. They can bother us with hands, and then they're just fouling the shit out of us. So again, credit to Tatum, underrated stat, 2 games in a row on the road, 12 of 12 from the free throw line. Like, that's what you got to do. Come in and hit 24 straight free throws and say, all right, if that's what you're going to do, you got to just keep going. And I think in the fourth quarter, those big possessions, I mean, Brown started doing it in the third, Tatum started doing it in the fourth. It's like, they're not sending help. Go all the way. You're going to finish. You're going to get a really good mid-range look, or you're going to get fouled every single time. It's not pretty. It's not necessarily even fun, like you said, but it's like, that's what the playoffs are. It's a battle. And you got to pick at whatever is there to be picked at.
Who cares
that's
about
all
that?
They're giving us to pick at. So just pick at it over and over again. And we did it, to our credit.
Yeah, no, they absolutely, they took advantage. And honestly, credit to the Celtics too, because I know I've said this definitely earlier in the year about the Celtics. With the free throws, it always felt like a problem to me. 30 of 32 tonight. They made almost, all but 2 of their free throws.
Got to give them credit.
Yeah. Oh, credit. Credit is given. Consider it given. I hope it's accepted. Once it's accepted, once it's sent, 2-day delivery, it'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Anything else just like on like the style of the game or anything? Or do you want to kind of look at some of the individual? Because there's a bunch of guys just had great games we're going to get into.
Well, I think another thing that's frustrating too that contributed to the style tonight. The first thing I had in my entire notes, the second I turned on the game, first thing I hear is the crew. Mark Davis, Tyler Ford, officiating. I'm like, well, this game's going to fucking suck. And it did.
Yeah.
And again, it's just annoying to watch these games be so inconsistent. Let them get, 1 second, it's like they're pushing each other around playing rugby out there. The next second, like there's a tiny bump on a drive that it doesn't even affect the play and you're calling it a foul. Just give me some damn consistency. There's so many bizarre calls, so many things that I feel like contributed to it. And again, at the end of the day, they're going about 50-50, but it just still feels like even getting into that situation and dragging the game on like that is favoring the Magic. It just always is going to favor.
Right. That's what I was saying. Yeah,
team.
They just have, right, exactly. They just have this almost like there's like 3 ways that things can go. Like the Magic just play really good defense on us and stop us, or they get fouls, or we just break their defense. So it's like they almost have like a 60%, 66% chance of, I don't know, this is weird math I'm doing. But it's like, they just, the odds are in their favor if slowing down the clock and always getting fouls is just going to benefit them. And like you said, there's no consistency. It's very strange, very weird. And that crew's just terrible. And every time they talked, every time they delivered like a challenge, they explained it like more confusing.
And you expect them to say the wrong thing, basically.
Yeah. Like the ref on like the Tatum one was like, there was like contact, no minimal contact on his hand, but then there was illegally contact. Right. It's like, what? What does that mean?
It's ridiculous.
Fucking jackasses.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Bad crew. Really bad crew.
Rough crew. But yeah, I think that's the kind of thing that's just going to benefit the Magic. So I'm glad that we got through that game today with that crew, because that could have definitely been something for them.
Yeah.
All right. Jayson Tatum, absolute monster night tonight. So over the last 2 games, tonight he had 37, 14, and 3. He had 3 steals too. Last game 3, he had 36, 9, and 4. I mean, the guy's just kind of on fire the last 2 games. That's with the hurt wrist. This felt just like a game that he hit his prints all over. That fadeaway, turnaround fadeaway was looking really good. He was getting super fired up too. At one point, I don't know what was the Orlando coach doing, like standing over his head or something. Like,
Yeah, I
that
think he
was
was just
crazy.
standing over him to argue with the ref while Tatum was staying down on the ground after getting fouled. But
like bananas should have been injected. So anyway, let's talk about how cool Tatum was.
Tatum's awesome. And again, it's like I said, it's a matter of taking what the defense is giving you. If they're not sending doubles at Tatum, like almost no team has the balls to actually keep doing that and never give the help. And the Magic are doing that with almost everyone. And Tatum's got to go at them, and he's doing it. When he's getting the smaller guy on him, he's getting in there. He's attacking whoever, and he has a mismatch, like an advantage basically no matter what. It's just a matter of who's guarding him. Is my advantage that I'm bigger than you? Is my advantage that I'm quicker than you? Is my advantage that I'm smarter than you?
Mm-hmm.
Is it all of the above? Whatever. And it's just nice to see him kind of pick and choose spots where, Wendell Carter's on me. All right, come out here and I'm going to cross you up and shoot a 3. Corey Joseph's on me. I'm going to take you all the way in the post and make you foul me, like whatever. And truly doing it from all 3 levels is great too. He still hasn't had one of those like explosive shooting nights. I know he's made a few threes, like he shot all right, but he hasn't had that game where he hits like 8 threes and is really catches fire even.
3 for 10 from 3 tonight. But
which is, a little below average, I'd say even. But again, 14 of 14 from the free throw line. And with Jaylen too, but you can always tell when they're super locked in, really the rebounding is there. And that was a big thing. We talked about the Magic stealing last game is the way they kind of just punked us on the glass. Both Jays, you could tell, were committed to it from the opening tip. And when Tatum's getting out 14 rebounds, and you can see it again in the way he's playing. He's fired up. He's getting extra physical. He's still getting annoyed at, even in that skirmish when he ran in there, it was like Tatum was just going for the ref. Everyone else was going back and forth between them. He just wanted to get in the ref's face. He was gonna fucking hit the ref.
Well, because what the fuck? But the refs got to do something there.
No, I mean I agree.
Until
it's
the
just
coach
funny.
get on the fucking sidelines.
But again, I mean I think all that stuff kind of helps, and to see him, this is what it takes for a superstar. They're not going to let you play the way you maybe want to play in the playoffs. And Tatum's just like, fuck it. This is how it's going to be. Fine. I'll just go out and win this way. A lot of huge mid-range buckets when we needed him. Hit that giant 3 off the screen from JB. It was right after he hurt the wrist again after he got dragged down. That was a massive shot. And he made a ton of good passes
16
too.
points in the 4th quarter too. I think a bunch of those came from the line. They also did some fouls. 9 for 9 from the free throw line. So.
But when they're fouling every time, those are important shots. 2 free throws in this game.
Yeah. I more just meant it he hit them all. It wasn't like he got a bunch of shots and missed a few. But
again, I mean, I think this is a huge part of his development. Obviously, that's it's not like it just happened tonight or even this year. But back early in his career, we talk about a game where it's like the other team gets too physical and you just kind of settle for jumpers. This is what we've always wanted. That game where this team's going to try to punk you with being almost bush league. Fine. Go and just get hit 14 free throws and shut them up that way. And it's just great to see. What more can you even say? Like I said, I wish some more guys hit some more shots. He would have had more assists, maybe in an even more epic stat line. But yeah, he was just great. And to think that, like I said, the shooting hasn't even really come around that much. So there's really even a higher ceiling when we get into these later rounds and they don't have so many good big bodies to throw at Tatum. The sky's the limit. So good to see. And like I said, as much as this sucks too, I think it's ultimately good for the team to get them this intensely focused this quickly out of the gates. This is into that second round taking anybody lightly. So
and just as a little aside based on that, I do feel like we kind of doubted the Magic, how much their defense could impact the game in these series. Because this is the game too that the Celtics turned it on the 4th, but this game was, I think, it was tied in the 4th at one point. I'm pretty sure.
Neither team,
at least within a basket,
double digits the entire game.
Yeah, so it's just it's scary. I mean, 107 points. You're right. Right, exactly. I think that's maybe the scariest part is that it's working. And I don't know. And they already, but I don't know. I just credit to the Magic. I think we were just a little bit soft, maybe too doubted them a little bit. I didn't think I think it's we were half right because we're right about the offense. Our whole thing was they can't score. But I think in all of our heads we figured, but they can't stop us the way they are stopping our offense. So we worked through it. We got through. We got the win tonight, a huge win, 3-1. I feel so much better about 3-1, obviously, than 2-2. But of course, the Magic, credit to them because it is. It's a little bit scary what they're doing to us.
Right. And if nothing else, they are kind of dictating the terms of the game. Like they're getting a game much more on their terms than ours, which is a huge credit to them. But again, I don't think it's something as simple as other teams can look and be like, oh shit, that's all we have to do. Like this is the way they've played all year long. They've made their entire strategy to play this way. And it's, gotten them pretty far they're still probably going to lose 4-1 in the first round. We've talked about, there's changes to be made, but a really promising young team. A lot of it is due to, again, the way they play, how hard they play, that they've been doing it all year and that they have the personnel to do it. I think if, like I said, other teams are going to try to say, yeah, we'll do that. Like, it's just not going to work.
But it doesn't really work yet because they have a lot of lineups they can roll out there that don't really have that one particular player. I know when they have like Cole Anthony out there and stuff like that, there is some guys that you can sort of pick on. Who's the other guy that was out there kind of later on in the game?
Caleb Houston, maybe?
No, I don't know. But they like every now and then they put a guy out there that you can get something out of. But,
sure.
But for the most part, they don't. You mentioned it earlier in the podcast, the length, everything that they have. So, anyway, yeah, enough talking about how great the Magic are, although I'm impressed. We'll save that for the end of the series. Save that for the end of the series.
Sure.
I think Jaylen...
I'd like to see what they could do against some of these other teams. So it's like, I think the Magic are probably about equal footing, I would say, almost to the Pistons. But just their seasons played out so much differently, and so much differently in terms of expectations, that everyone feels so much better about the Pistons. But I think they're probably actually pretty even team.
Do you think there's anyone else in the first round that who else in the first round do you think the Magic could beat?
Well, I mean, they're way better than the Heat, obviously.
Okay, I don't mean so. Let's go for would they beat the? I think they would beat the Pistons.
Yeah, I think they definitely
could. They would probably beat the Bucks.
I think they could beat this Bucks team. Depending, Dame just got hurt again, and they're already saying it's potentially severe.
I think the Pacers, they can give them problems, kind of the way they give us problems. It would be one of those things where
the Pacers are.
I don't know if the Pacers, although. We can do that thought experiment.
They'd battle with teams. I think they'd give teams. Yeah, they'd give a lot of teams a challenge because of the way they play, and
it's just so bizarre seeing the Celtics playing this such a different brand of ball, and it's all what the Magic are doing. All right, let's talk a little bit more about some of the other performances by the Celtics. I thought Jaylen today too. Not like a game like scoring wise doesn't jump out. I think he had like 21 points. But he was just playing absolutely amazing defensively, especially in the stretch in the third quarter. He had 21 points, 11 rebounds. So the commitment to the rebounds was there. I thought what he was just doing defensively, though, like he was just kind of making a lot of plays in the third quarter, kind of stopping a lot of potential Magic runs, disrupting plays. It was a really good Jaylen game. Like I said, people might look at it and only say 21 points, but I don't know. He had 2 steals as well. Feels like he should have had more steals, but what do I know?
Yeah, well, he was very active, and I mean, again, it wasn't specifically like the steals or even anything showing up in the stat line. I thought he came out playing the right way, but almost started a little slow. I think he just shot like 1 of 5 on his first, came out of the gates a little like, oh, geez, wasn't scoring. But yeah, that third quarter, as much as anything, he changed the game with his defense, especially on Paolo. He kind of took Paolo out of it. Paolo couldn't score on him. He was poking the ball away. He was getting right up into his dribble. Wasn't really letting him penetrate. It was forcing the Magic to have other guys have to do stuff, and it wasn't working. He was battling again. That 11 rebounds is huge for him. And it translated on the other end, too, on offense. He started realizing they're not helping. He made a commitment to, I'm going to turn the corner. I'm going to get in that paint. He made a few huge mid-range jump shots. And again, much like Tatum, you don't see it as much with Brown, but what he got to the line, he must have had at least 10 free throws himself there. I think he shot 8 of 10, something like that.
Yeah, he was 9 for 10, 9
for 10. So again, super, super solid. You got to love that. Both of those guys kind of taking their turns. So I thought it was actually some really big stretches on offense for a guy who also didn't have a very good shooting night, made it work by just relentlessly getting to the basket. And yeah, his defense, especially in that quarter, unbelievable. And again, it's just so cool to see that in a game where, again, it's not pretty. We're not even hitting double-digit threes. Not every team superstars are going to like that and adjust to that and kind of rise to that occasion. So to see our two guys do it on both ends and to see that Jaylen's like, all right, I don't really have it going. I'm going to take over this game on defense by taking their best player out of it and to put it into work.
He did. Amazing. He did coming right out in the second half, too. He had that fast break dunk where he got some serious lift on that one. If there was still any concerns about the knee, I feel like that that looked pretty crazy. I don't think we've seen him jump like that in a little bit. So, crazy Jaylen game. Another guy, too, that I don't know. We opened last last game's episode talking. I don't know why. I just sort of was like, let's start with Porzingis. Like, he's having a bad game. What the fuck? And it seemed like all of Celtics, like, social media almost was turning on the guy based on his, like, performances. Obviously, he hasn't been playing well this series. Obviously, it struggled. Tonight, though, he had a nice bounce back night tonight. They got him going early on a lot of pick and rolls with Derek White specifically. That was a nice little treat. I'd like to see a little bit more of that to get Porzingis going. I think his first like 3 or 4 baskets were right at the rim. Eventually, though, that opens up the 3-point shot. I think he might have only made 2 this game, but
only had,
one of them,
yeah, maybe 1 or 2, but
yeah, one of them was like I think in the third quarter, and it came at a very opportunity time. But it was I don't know, it was nice to see Porzingis. I think the amount of hate he was getting seemed very overboard. I don't know. I know you have your settings turned to like turn that off or whatever, but what do you think? I mean, did you see? I mean, did you see he was getting like fucking ripped?
Yeah. Well, we haven't lost a playoff game in a while, so there's gonna be some frustrations coming out, and people don't know how to react, who to blame, and you look and you say who's underperforming, and he's number one.
Yeah.
And also,
I just feel like that shit happens in a playoff series.
No, it does, and he had, I would say, 2 out of the 3 games were pretty rough. Last one was really rough, and it was a loss, so that's going to be magnified. And also, when he plays poorly, I feel like it's just so much easier to spot because he's so big. So when he misses a layup, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, everything he does is so loud on the court. So when the shots are bricking and, a rebound goes through his hands, it's just like,
put it in
the
there. Like, what the hell?
It's like almost more frustrating to watch because it seems like it should be so simple.
But
yeah, I mean, I thought even tonight he only played like 22 minutes, had some foul trouble, then didn't even start the second half, which was kind of weird. I haven't seen Joe's press conference.
They said he was on the bike. He was riding the bike at one point?
Yeah, so I don't know if that was weird. His like rotations were off because of the fouls, maybe. Some tough calls. I have to say, it was a tough call, but I absolutely fucking hate that challenge on his screen because I just feel like an illegal screen, you watch in slow motion, like the refs are going to see whatever the fuck they want. Challenging that in the first half, it's like it's not Tatum's like 4th foul. It's just like, Jesus Christ, what an awful challenge.
Yeah, I thought that was a bad challenge, and then we could really use it again later on in the game. So
that I just always, in general, just going back to the challenge kind of game theory that we talked about for years in general, no matter what, like I just hate using that challenge. So that was just an aside, not his fault. Obviously, everyone wants the challenge when they get called. But yeah, no, like you said. The way they were using him is just much smarter. Just get him running towards the basket. They found him. I think it was like 3 dunks in the first few minutes, and then a 4th one off a Al screen where he crashed from the corner. Good to see. If the shot's not going, it's like we said last game. You're 7-2. Go to the basket. Make the action come to you. He did that. Then again, was kind of taken out of it. They were still attacking him on defense. I have to say. That's where Paolo got going a lot was when he could get Porzingis on him because he can get into like a real comfortable jump shot off his dribble. So that was hurting us a little bit. They were trying to mess with that. And then the other thing, huge shout out to Porzingis, that play. I think they had come all the way back and tied it out of the timeout. One of the biggest plays in the game with like 4 minutes left. It was like
foul.
That double foul. Well, it was the and one, but it was just a beautiful play to get him off those 2 screens. They thought he was going to the ball, cut back door. Tatum hit him. It should have been an alley-oop. I think he maybe got stuffed by the rim, but then put back his own miss and won up 3. And that was kind of like they didn't get tie. I don't think they tied it up again after that, so that kind of put it away. So yeah, like we said, it's not like we need Porzingis to go out and score 30 points a night, but it's just like there's going to be some stretches where we need you to carry us on the offense, and we need your rim protection when you're out there on defense. And I thought tonight was just like a really good blend of that, where it's like, yeah, he's not a perfect player, and we just want to see him take advantage where there's advantages to be gained. And I thought he did a much better job of that tonight. So he can still play better.
Yeah, I do. I kind of agree with you. Like, just get it to him down low. Have him run like more pick and rolls, running towards the basket. Because to me, the Magic are clear. They're not like his like unlocking for our offense is stretching the floor like that. But the Magic seem perfectly fine with us just having like 4 guys standing around the 3-point line and just staying right in front of them and not moving into the paint. So give it to him in the paint because I think with him, like Tatum. Yeah, you might be able to avoid a double team on him, but I feel like if Porzingis is in there kind of like right at the rim, that always kind of just drags people in more because you got the big 7-foot fucker out there. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think they need to get him in that kind of stuff more, and then maybe he only ends up shooting 2 or 3 threes a game, but I think he'll hit 1 or 2 more of those because he's making those shots down in the paint.
Yeah,
that's my theory.
No, 100%
Um,
true. And it's all matchup based. Next round, we're going to play the Knicks. He could get 10 threes a game, and it's going to look
well, that's what
completely
I'm saying.
different.
'Cause
So,
exactly, it's
yeah,
gonna be completely different. And that's
right,
what I'm
right.
saying. I think what he does for our offense is like our offense isn't that because of what the Magic are doing. So it just kind of puts him in this
Right.
awkward spot where it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go back to being this like center type thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
but like that can still help. He's too big and too good and too talented to just be like, oh shit, this is how they're playing. You're gonna just take me out of the game. Like no defense should take you out of the game. It should just. And I
yeah,
know
no,
it's
he
like
shouldn't
you're
be
saying.
taken out of the game.
Right. I just mean it's like we need to see more like tonight. It can't be like last game where he scored like 6 points or whatever. It's just like find other ways to
Yeah,
score.
he's just
Get
kind of
alley-oop
confused.
dunks all night. Be there. Be that threat for like you said. If they're not double teaming and they're gonna do the switching, do all the shit, draw fouls, dunk the ball, get rebounds, block shots, whatever. And for the most part, he did that. So.
Yeah, he had a couple times that I thought he could have been a little bit better defending around the rim, but he did have that nice foul on Franz too.
Good hard foul.
Great. To me, that's how a hard foul should be executed. Just a little something quick. The Magic always do kind of it'll start good, and then they kind of
And it lingers.
They kind of
Yeah,
move
there's
their
always a
like
little
arm and like
down.
yeah, it's just kind of like all right, dude. Like, no. Yeah,
It's true. It's true.
All right. Sticking with the big guys, Al Horford, 5 blocks tonight. Kareem, Al Horford, Jabbar, absolutely
Unreal.
killing it. That stat that they mentioned too about we'll get into that other stat about Kareem. He had like how many games he had with 5 blocks after the age of 39 was pretty incredible. But in the modern times, Al Horford is that guy right now. So he had 5 blocks tonight. Absolute beast. He had a couple clutch rebounds down the line too. Again, his stat line outside of the blocks doesn't jump out to you, but he was everywhere. Playing defense on Paolo too. A couple times just truly getting in Paolo's jock and really making him uncomfortable. Giving, especially those times when Jaylen had to go to the bench, because we mentioned too, Jaylen was doing a great job with it. But yeah, Al Horford, what an absolute treasure that guy is. He was mixing up with some of the fans too. It's a funny dynamic down there being in Miami too, because I think he has a lot of fans, even that might be Magic fans that just love him. Oh yeah, Orlando. I meant Florida, just Florida in general. Yeah. So anyway, talk about Al Horford.
No, Al was friggin' awesome. And again, all that stuff on defense, the 5 blocks, doesn't even really speak to it. It was so early. He blocked 2 threes in the first quarter, which is like, holy shit. That's like
one of them into like the 5th row.
It's demonic levels of energy. But again, I think it's kind of like as we talked about, like Franz and Paolo. You might not even notice it watching. I mean, I think we've noticed it by now over 4 games. But those guys are both like 6'10". They're basically as big as Al. So Al is being relied on a ton to guard Paolo. He's really, other than Jaylen, was the only guy who could do it. And he's more than holding up, doing a great job, staying with him. And again, I think much like kind of these other guys, he feeds off the intensity, the physicality. You can see him getting super fired up. And it's not like the dagger threes that we're used to seeing him stick. It's kind of those other things. Because again, that's just not there. There's going to be, I saw a stat, he's at least in the top 10 for most wide open threes all year. Because against the Celtics, usually, again, you pick your poison, and that's usually the poison. It's like, I guess we'll just dare Al Horford to beat us from the 3-point line. Not the Magic, and he's happily adjusted. He's gone down on the block. Another guy who's like, he's kind of a finesse player. Not this series. He's banging down on the boards. He's blocking everything in sight. He's getting his hands on balls. He's playing great defense. Those rebounds.
Getting KCP's face.
All those big stops in like the last 5 minutes, I feel like his fingerprints were just over all over all of those defensive possessions. And it's cool to see, again, your oldest guy be that much of a fucking demon on the defensive end. It's awesome. We're blessed. We're so blessed to have Al.
Yeah. Speaking of demons on the defensive end too, good segue to Derek White. We'll talk about his scoring. He had 18, 7, and 7, but the absolute play of the game, the Magic are on that crazy run.
Yeah.
And it's like a 4-on-1, and Derek White's sitting there, and they start passing the ball around, and he just gets up, stuffs the shit out of it, stops a 4-on-1 fast break by himself. Absolute fucking legendary move. Celtics then go out. I'm pretty sure they scored on the other end off that. And that kind of, again, turned it around. It was a 10-0 Magic run. It happened quickly. It was one of those weird moments where the Magic were kind of pushing the pace, and it was working well for them. Derek, and then to add that on, he has 18, 7, and 7. He's got at least 16 points in every single game of the series so far. He's just, again, when he's going, I feel like the whole entire team, everything just goes better when Derek White is putting up like a nice at least 16-point stat line, at least 5 and 5 on the rebound and assist side of things. And then again, the one monster block we talked about. I mean, that's like a highlight reel, like championship DVD moment, that block. That was so sick.
Yeah, I mean, that was the play of the game, and truly it's hard to even like quantify the amount of momentum because, like you said, the Celtics had just opened up an 8-point lead. It seemed like we were getting our footing and was like, okay, are we about to roll away with this? Then the Magic went on maybe their best run of the series. KCP hit a 3. I think Wagner hit a 3. They had a couple other baskets. It was a 10-0 Magic run. They had actually taken the lead, and then we turned it over 4-on-1. KCP decides to try a behind-the-back pass to Wendell Carter, their center, who's at least 6'10", and Derek White. I don't even know if he really got the ball. He just went straight up so perfectly, like chest to chest. Carter missed, and then he got his own, tried to kick it out. By then the Celtics D was back. Tatum stole it, let out the break the other way. Brown made a layup, and then the Celtics immediately went on a 7-0 run. It was also huge because Joe had just used that timeout for the challenge, that stupid challenge we talked about. So he really didn't want to clearly didn't want to use another timeout in the first half. So they were on a 10-0 run. It's about as loud as you'll hear the Kia Center, unless it's a Let's Go Celtics chant. And it was like everything you would want to see, like this would be the time to use the timeout. So to see them obviously not only not use a timeout, but to battle through it and kind of create their own almost massive shift in momentum. Again, all thanks to Derek White. That play really deserved its own like segment. I had it written down. It was Jaylen's defense in the third, but that play, like, who knows if he doesn't make that play, because then it's a 14-0 run, I think. They'd be up 4.
Yeah.
And they had as much momentum, like I said, as they can possibly get. And then that place immediately was just silenced, and it was right back to, like, us having momentum. It took 2 seconds. It happened so fast. And to Derek White. Because, again, other than that, his stats were there by the end, but I really didn't think he had a great game. I thought he's been struggling to get it going shooting, which is weird. He hit a couple in the fourth quarter, as he always does, luckily, but he missed 2 or 3 of the best looks you'll ever see when the Celtics were actually
coming right out
really
in the third
well.
quarter. Yeah,
it generated 2 awesome wide open threes that he just like never misses. Missed both those rows, just like holy shit, you don't see that. But again, even when he's not making shots, he's contributing in other ways. He had that massive play, and then did hit the clutch threes down the stretch in the fourth quarter when we needed him. So solid D White game, but I still feel like other than game 1, we really haven't had a great D White offensive game compared to what we've kind of come to expect from him this season.
Mm-hmm. They over 16 points in every game so far.
Yeah, that's good, but again, I'm expecting over 20 in at least 2 or 3. Like
true. Fair. Yeah, when those first 2 threes, I had the indigestion gift going on the Chuddy account. So
there you go.
All right. I have a couple I don't know. I have a couple of just like small little things. It looks like Hauser was looking a little bit back, hit to his first 2 threes early. He didn't do a whole lot. I don't think he did anything else scoring the rest of the game. But again, to me, him coming in and hitting 2 threes at any point in the game that's like a plus for Hauser. I think he had one of the highest plus minuses on the team too. Pritchard too, not a great offensive night at all. But he was absolutely being a beast on defense. He was putting the clamps on Paolo early in the game and Franz down the stretch. Like down the stretch, they had Peyton Pritchard taking Franz at the top of the key, and he was absolutely holding his own. It was very impressive. So shout out to those 2 guys. I think 2 guys that have struggled a little bit, but looked pretty good.
I wouldn't even, struggled maybe isn't fair, but I would also even lump in Luke Cornett. It was really, that was our bench tonight, with obviously no Drew Holiday again, and you won't know it by looking at the stat sheet, and I'm sure you'll even see some people maybe who didn't watch the game closely or just want to have a take. They'll look right at it and say that the Celtics, you mentioned Sam hit 2 threes. That was it. They had 6 bench points, I'm pretty sure, the entire night, which for us, that's crazy. But like you said, I feel like they all impacted the game in other ways. Hauser had the 2 threes, but honestly, before that, he had like 3 Tommy points. I think he dove for 2 loose balls. He knocked the ball away. He came back and I think blocked a shot. Was also holding his own on Franz and Paolo. Peyton, as soon as he came in, it was like the pace picked up and the Celtics started to go around because we were down 18-10. I think in that first quarter, they had a nice little lead. He came in and we finished that quarter with 31 points. That was like our best stretch of offense when those 3 guys came in there. And again, it was just Luke keeping everything alive on the glass, Hauser running off people for getting his looks and playing good defense, and Pritchard just pushing the tempo and being savages. So again, a little concerning to only score 6 points for an entire bench unit. But
especially
again,
that bench unit.
Right. I think I chalk it more up to the Magic, to the matchups, to this kind of series. Those guys are going to have their fair share of open shots in the next few rounds that, I expect them to hit, and I expect them to impact the game in different ways. But it is cool to see that they are able to make an impact in a game without scoring like that. So, yeah, definitely shout out to them.
And especially the fact that they barely even scored at all, and those are the only two players that double-digit plus-minus. Hauser team high 13, Pritchard team high 11. The fact that Pritchard had 0 points and finished with as a plus 11, I always that to me is like there's got to be something with plus minus on that one. I know sometimes we use that stat and it's like, well, that's dumb. We use it, it's like, all right. To me, it's like he didn't do any scoring and the team still had 11 more points with him on the floor. That's kind of sick.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else from the game specifically? I think Drew Carter kind of was challenging KCP to a fight in one point of the game. Was kind of awesome. Did you hear him say that?
No, I don't think
he was like he didn't actually challenge him.
Keep doing it, KCP or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like he was directing it. Like I feel like if KCP heard that, he'd be like, "What?
Yeah, maybe. Not sure. Not sure.
Pretty good stuff.
That smoke.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. We ran the marathon, so who knows?
True. Also, just again, I know we already talked about the officials and whatever, but the fact that they called that a double technical when that moment you're talking about, like Tatum literally didn't do anything. KCP, I would have been fine with no technicals, but like KCP pushed them and they blew the whistle. But it's like Tatum literally didn't do anything. KCP's just pissed because he like fouled him and he's walking to the free throw line. Like,
no, I didn't understand that at all.
So again, in a world where these technicals can add up and there can be a suspension, and we know Tatum's not always one to shy away. Like, I hope that the league rescinds that before it becomes anything, because that shit's just so fucking stupid. They also called him for a take foul when it was like 1-on-4 in the half court. Yeah. The offensive player didn't even. So I don't want to get bogged down on the rest, but again, that's just
no. I had one more quasi ref, quasi announcer comment. I've said it all year that I hate how much Scal just like agrees the refs sometimes. Like it's just, to me, it's just you gotta kind of get at him a little bit. But also one thing, I have two thoughts. I just thought of the second one. If I have to hear Scal say that you can't face guard box out one more fucking time when we get called for it, it's like, dude, say nothing. Just say nothing. But also when they were reviewing that flagrant, or like the review that didn't get called the flagrant, Wendell Carter pushed who did he push? Derek White or whatever. Yeah. It was White, yeah. Which to me was, I didn't even think that was that bad of a foul. No, I love that Al Horford got in his face. I totally thought that was appropriate, all that. Yeah. And I didn't think it should be a flagrant, but I don't like that Scal is like saying to the refs while they're looking at the, being like, yeah, let's be a quick one for you guys. You can like hear him. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, Scal? Like, you got to be being like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Can't let that stuff slide. You got to keep control, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get why he does. I don't get why he's doing that, but I don't know. Maybe he just respects the game too much. That could be it. I guess that'd be the best. That'd be the best excuse. But
I mean, he has like a national radio show, so I think he's used to not like trying, almost going out of the way, not to be too much of a homer. He probably wants a national gig someday. Auditioning for a national gig.
Wow. All right, you got anything else? Got anything else?
I have to point out, last thing, not even really related to the game, but I think it was the coach's interview with. I think it was Drew who was interviewing Joe before the game. Tell me you saw this clip. And he's just talking about the physicality. And he's like, do you think, in your opinion, like, have the Magic cross the line? And Joe, just a perfect deadpan, doesn't even flinch. It's just like, well, I mean, no one's been arrested. So
yeah, I got a couple memes. Okay. That's like a very memeable clip.
Fucking
no one was arrested. So
all time Joe line.
That's I got that clip perfectly.
Yeah, I guess they have not crossed the line then.
Yep. That's a great. Yeah, that's an all-time classic. All right, you got anything else on the game specifically? Anything like that?
No, just good to take care of business on the road in a game where he faced a lot of adversity for a 2-7 match.
Lost 5 straight there too. They said. I know one of those was with everybody out, but still.
It's a new era of scoring, but they said it's the first time ever in Orlando we've cracked 100 points in a playoff game, which we played them at least a few series with the Big Three era,
way back.
I know we played them before that too. So, like I said, I know scoring's up a little, but that still just seems wild.
This is pretty wild. All right, should we give out some Chuddy Chains then?
Let's do it.
All right. Chuddy's Corner is brought to you by Mario's Roofing, Mario's, Siding, Mario's, Windows, Mario's. You just got to call Mario's. Did you know that 1/3 of all landfill waste was due to construction? In 2023, Mario's recycled over 95% of all roofing waste. I bet you in 2024, it was more. By prioritizing recycling, we are not only able to achieve smaller carbon footprint, but we're also able to reduce dumping costs, savings, which we pass on to the consumer. So call Mario's today, and together we can all do a part to achieve a greener future. Celtics, wear green, greener future is what we want, guys. Give Mario's a call, 781. What's that?
Want it bad.
Need it bad. We want the greenest future possible as Celtics fans. 781-344-2420, or you can visit mariosroofing.com. Tell them Chuddy's Corner send you. You can get $50 off your installation. Some restrictions do apply. Mario's Roofing, we won't soak you in order to keep you warm and dry. All right. I think I picked game 1. You picked game 2 first. I picked game 3 first. You can pick game 4 first. Who you got for your Chuddy Chain tonight? I feel like there's 2 names that jump.
2 names we've talked about, both of them a ton. I'm going to go right ahead and give it to old man Al Horford. I thought his energy is just infectious out there. What more can you say that we haven't already said about Al Horford? But again, just to see him being the leader in intensity, energy, to be the first guy getting in people's faces, to be getting the crowd fired up. Again, he just hope this goes on forever because it's just such a joy to watch, and he just embodied everything.
He was doing Chuddy a lot of the pumping up the crowd too when they get the Let's Go Celtics going. So
I love it. I absolutely
love it.
Big energy
guy. And then so mine obviously I think it has to go to Derek White for that.
Oh wow!
Stop it.
Thought you were going to say Jaylen.
I guess Jaylen doesn't
just
really
the leader with
one.
Intensity. Yeah, I figured you meant them too. Derek White, though, that was the most.
I just feel like that play. It's just like that. That was like the force of 1,000 Chuddy Chains, 4-1. So it's just kind of like what Jaylen did was it's like that would keep the factory running all day. Yeah, sure, the Chuddy Chain factory running all day. The energy from that. But
gotcha.
What Derek White did in that short, condensed second is like visible from space.
Okay.
So, I guess I'm going to give mine to Derek White, but now I guess I kind of feel like shit about it. So, honorable mention, I guess. We'll get the intern. The interns text me right now. The intern's giving their Chuddy Chain to Jaylen Brown. So he gets a Chuddy Chain tonight too. So the intern special, I forgot tonight was the intern was getting one. So the intern just texted me and said, okay, Jaylen Brown.
Classic.
So there's 3 Chuddy Chains tonight. All right, let's go take a look at some of these matchups. Some of these series are getting done old fast. Some of these series are getting very interesting. Great game of ball all day today. Go ahead, pay the bills, and we'll get into all that.
No doubt. Chuddy's Corner is brought to you by Nick Perrano Real Estate. Visit nickperrano.com for any and all of your real estate needs. Nick services the entire North Shore, all of New England, though, all of the United States. He's just a hardworking guy. If you've got anything going on in the real estate world, get in touch with Nick. He'll give you a good, honest conversation. He will put you at ease. He'll get right back to you. He will tell you what you need to know. No bullshit. He'll give you a real relationship, someone you can work with, someone you can trust. It's really the most important thing about these process. None of us really know what we're doing. We're all super stressed out. So to have someone in your corner like Nick, who you can count on, who makes it a personable experience, who understands, the stresses of moving. No one understands better than Nick. The kid moves every other week. That's the guy you got to go to. He's helped us both out. He's helped us out with Chuddy's Corner too immensely. The original sponsor works hard to keep the lights on for Chuddy's Corner, a true Chuddy head. A diehard Celtics fan, goes to, he already went to 1 game of the series. I'm sure he's going to some more playoff games. He'll be listening to every episode of Chuddy's Corner, that's for sure. And that's why he's the official realtor of Chuddy's Corner.
All right. Yep. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Marios. Okay. Let's go. I think I might go a little bit out of order because I do think that there's two. If we're looking at Saturday's games, there's 2 series that are pretty much are actually done and that are pretty much done, right? So Cavs, Heat, Cavs win 124, Heat 87, Cavs up 3-0. Yeah. I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time on that series or that match, that game.
Embarrassing showing by the Heat
honestly. Dead. Okay.
Embarrassing Perfect. Showing by the Heat completely. I will say Darius Garland, after saying that Tyler Hero thing, then to just not play because of a sore ankle is kind of lame.
Hold on. Tell me more about that to anyone or explain that to anyone who might not know it.
They asked him what they have to do on offense. He said, just keep attacking Tyler Hero. Basically, that was just his answer to what they need to do on offense. And then he just didn't play game 3 because he had a sore foot or something. So obviously they didn't miss him. They still won by 40, and his analysis wasn't wrong. I just feel like you're going to say that. You got to come out and
You got to go play. Yeah, yeah.
And also, Garland, like, you're the guy who the other team attacks. Like, so a little
That's
self-awareness.
also a very good point.
Kind of an look there. Whatever. But again, the Cavs still won by 40, and just Bam and Hero were completely emasculated in that one. So we'll see if they can come out, get a gentleman sweep. I hope they do, just because, again, we're probably going to play the Cavs eventually. I don't want them getting too much rest. So it would be nice if the Heat could at least make them play one more game. But I'm not counting on it.
All right. And then the other game, the Thunder 117, the Grizzlies 115. I mean, shout out to the Grizzlies. They fought. They tried. This is a game that was, a good game pretty much all the way through. It wasn't like I don't think there was anyone did the – what was the most with the OKC? Well, I guess they led by 12 at one point. But
yeah, but no, it was
they
close.
whittled it down. But, yeah, it was close pretty much the whole game. Credit to them. But, again, a sweep, as all predicted. Womp womp.
Yeah, I mean, just with the Ja Morant injury changed everything. It's kind of crazy to think they were absolutely steamrolling and then almost won without him. Like there's another world where maybe the series is 2-2. It would add it back to.
Well, did I get steamrolled or did Ja say that?
What?
Did I get sentel? I mean,
about what?
Did Ja? I saw that Ja said I had him figured out if I didn't go out, it was going to be 2-2.
Oh, I don't know, but I mean, it looked like he kind of did. So. But I don't think there's I think there's one way to be like, oh, the Thunder came out and swept and rolled, like every other team's still playing and they rolled. But I also think you could be like, damn, that Memphis team looked pretty dead, and if Ja doesn't go down, this actually might be 2-2. Like it's not that crazy. So I don't know. It's hard to almost know what to take away from that series because just so much changed on that one play. But credit to Memphis for fighting in Game 4. Brutal end to a season. Feels like a brutal end to maybe an era. I don't know if they can keep rolling it back with the Ja, Bane, Triple J team anymore. Shout out to Scottie Pippen
is
Jr.
not a sentel. This is not a sentel.
Not a sentel. Okay.
To Michael Cole, Ja Morant paused because he wanted to be careful with his words, but he clearly had more to say when asked about how the OKC series turned out. Quote, I had them figured out. Added that he believes the series would be tied 2-2 heading back to OKC if he didn't get hurt. And that's DeMichael Cole, a Memphis kid living a dream for Memphis News, Memphis Grizzlies beat reporter. Lockdown Grizz co-host. Locked on Grizz. I love listening to Locked On around the sphere. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that's, again, probably spending more time than we need to on that matchup or anything anyway. So
no, but I think it is more interesting than a typical sweep because just such a wild swing.
Yeah. Yeah. I do feel like a hip injury, missing the game. What the fuck? Just play. But
I think it was a pretty serious injury, unfortunately, but I don't know.
Well, we'll see. If it was, then I was just riffing.
Naturally.
I was just joshing. All right. Rockets, Warriors. So that game goes to Golden State takes the 2-1 lead to take back home court advantage. They beat the Rockets 104-93. I saw someone had a tweet, and this is kind of similar to what we've sort of been saying. It's like the Rockets are watching the Rockets is like it's like a team that's missing their best player. That's who lost their best player. Mm-hmm. It's like they're playing hard. They're playing, and that's what we've kind of said. They're just kind of that one piece away. And
it's not that go-to guy on offense.
Yeah, and this was no Jimmy Butler too. Steph Curry had a great game.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I mean, that's it. They couldn't contain Steph. Rockets? There's definitely hope for the Rockets, but it's just so much. They're just relying on such unreliable sources of offense, and you've seen it up and down. I mean, Game 1 and Game 3, Jalen Green was an absolute disaster, and the Rockets couldn't score nearly enough points to keep up. Game 2, Jalen Green came out, scored 36 points or something, and the Rockets smoked them and scored a ton of points. So, again, you're relying on Jalen Green, who's not reliable. You're relying on Fred VanVleet, who's he's good, but he can't be your main source of offense. Sengun, it's tough. They got Draymond and guys like that to throw at him. It's a tough matchup. He didn't have a very good game last time either.
He likes those kinds of matchups, Draymond, too.
Yeah. So, again, it's really, they have so many good players, but they don't have any one guy who, when the game slows down in a playoff setting, it's like, who's going to steady you and get you good looks on offense? And they just don't have a guy who can consistently do that. And it's going to be interesting with them to see, too, because Ime's been hesitant to go away from Jalen Green, even when he struggled. I thought maybe in the playoffs he might have a shorter leash for him, but unfortunately it feels like the team just kind of goes as he goes, because it's like, if you're going to bench him, all right, then you're going to go with 5 guys who may be, good at defense and some things, but you just have nobody to create offense. So it's like they're so reliant on offensive rebounds, on turnovers and transition and things that just, again, in the playoffs, it's just hard to rely on. So the Warriors are struggling too, because without Jimmy outside of Steph, it's tough, and the Rockets defense is amazing, and they do win on those margins. So I definitely don't think this is over. I mean, that was a winnable game last night. They had a few stretches where they made it close. They just couldn't string together stops and scores. Big one, obviously in the bag. But I mean, if they can make it 2-2, then it's a best of 3 series, and they have home court advantage. So definitely not over, but they gotta figure out a way to score points more consistently, whether Butler's in there or not. I think it's almost more about the Rockets' offense at this point.
All right, yeah, we'll see. Again, I want the Rockets so bad, but for everything you just said, I just don't know if they got it. And then the last game from yesterday, Nuggets 101, Clippers 99. Very exciting game, very controversial finish. I'll be honest. So if anyone didn't see it, Jokic kind of heaved up this shot that didn't go in, but Aaron Gordon grabbed it, dunked it in there, like literally as close to the buzzer as you could be. I saw a few clips at first, and I was like, that wasn't good. Eventually, I saw apparently this Hawkeye cam the NBA has been busting out in some of these playoff games.
Saw it tonight.
Unreal. Yeah,
unreal.
Hawkeye. Shout out to Hawkeye.
Saved the day in multiple games in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, shout out to Hawk. I mean, we'll learn more about that technology later. But so he puts it in, ends up, it counts. They win, walk-off win. This series, man, this is going to be just a super fun series. We were talking in the last episode, like, I just don't know if the Nuggets can do it. And then they come out and do it. So, again, we just can't count them out as long as they got that guy on the other end playing for them, Jokic. So, I don't know. What do you make of this series? It's heading back to what?
No, I mean, I feel like there's a lot more going on in this game. It was just, I mean, crazy. Just an all-time basketball game. Jokic was incredible.
Game, yeah.
A true Jokic performance for the ages. Was getting no help. Westbrook was out. Porter Jr., we talked about, is playing at 30%. He's got half a shoulder. He's hitting crazy shots. Gordon said he can barely walk. Murray's giving them nothing. Jokic is just playing like an absolute machine. They're going to no bench. You're just wondering, are these guys ever going to wear out? Finally, they do, and it's the Clippers in the fourth quarter, they finally make the adjustment. They say we can't play Chris Dunn anymore because the Nuggets were just treating Dunn like Ben Simmons, like just pretending he wasn't on the court. And it's funny because Ben Simmons is actually also on the Clippers. But they basically played Dunn off the court by just ignoring him. Dunn couldn't make an open shot. They went to Bogey, who's had a brutal series, and had him just menace people around at the top of the key. They went to his zone, and they walked down a 22-point lead. It was the Nuggets ran out of gas. They couldn't get any good looks once they were swarming Jokic and Murray like that. They couldn't hit a shot. And then that kind of woke up the Clippers offense. When they took Dunn off the court, they basically replaced it with Powell. So Jokic had nowhere to hide. There was nobody to help off. They start generating looks. Suddenly Kawhi's getting it rolling. Harden's making plays. Powell's hitting threes. Again, a 22-point fourth quarter lead. The Nuggets, it looked like everything from their whole long, season of all this crazy stuff that's gone on. It looked like it was literally all completely unraveling at the seams. And this was going to be one of the most brutal losses in franchise history that would send them back demoralized, down 3-1 with half their team hurt. And then Aaron Gordon with literally one of the biggest plays in franchise history, the only ever buzzer-beating dunk in NBA playoff history at the end of a game, which is just kind of cool. And it was just a crazy play. It's always Jokic or Murray, it feels like, in those moments. And for Gordon to be there with, I mean, like you said, if you haven't seen this, they did the thing where it's like broken down frame by frame. And there's not even like a clear frame. It's just they're like in the one frame, the ball's in his hands and the light isn't on. And then the next frame, it's like the ball's out of his hands and the light is on. But it's like, what happened in between these frames? Like they need to slow it down even more than that. I don't know. It's
like
so
there wasn't
close,
even enough frame. Because I was saying two people were talking about like the cameras must be like the Hawkeye cam has a different frame rate than the other one, because there's the one cam that's like straight on where you can see the light like halfway on, then the light fully on, but you can't really see what's going on with his fingers in the rim. Hawkeye cam, like I don't know how you put those two, but yeah, you're right. It's like either a frame is missing or that camera doesn't have it, because it does go from not on all with it in his hands to on with it out of his hands. So
I feel like they had to call it the way they did. Like I don't
whatever
feel
they called,
awesome about it, but I feel like they did like the best they could given that situation. It had to stand. They had to call it good. They did, and amazing win. And like you said, now it's 2-2. It's best of 3. Denver has home court back, and they've got Nikola Jokic, but every single other thing points at the Clippers. It feels like they really finally figured something out. And they got to be kicking themselves because they could have won all 4 of these games. It feels like they're dominating this series, and it's 2-2.
Yeah.
And it's mostly just because of 2 incredibly clutch performances by Jokic and his boys down the stretch of games 1 and 4 are the only reason this wasn't a sweep. So can they find two more fucking wins to steal? Like, I don't know, because again, everything points to like, okay, I think the Clippers finally have solved it with that fourth quarter, because again, you're going out of there thinking, wow, the Nuggets just had this amazing win, but that fourth quarter was an all-time disastrous quarter for the Nuggets leading up to basically those last couple of possessions where it seemed like something clicked with the Clippers. They realized, okay, we take our non-shooter off the court, we press up with this little zone, and suddenly, I mean, I think they were on like a 33-9 run out of nowhere where that game looked completely over. I was wondering if the Clippers were going to take like their starters out at one point with like 8 minutes left, and then it was like everything just swung. They were getting a stop and a score every single time. So we'll see what carries into the next game. 2 days off. It's a chess match. It's battle. I can't wait. It's Tuesday night, so we're either have to record real quick or real late because I want to watch that.
All right, let's. So the early games today. Two absolutely great games today.
Yeah.
First one, Knicks, Pistons. Knicks get the 3-1 lead. They win 94-93. This one also ending in a lot of controversy, a lot of contact on a final 3-point shot by the Pistons.
Yeah.
Does not get called on the floor. Immediately the ref's like, oh yeah, I fucked that up in the press school or whatever. Fuck, that sucks. Because to me, I don't know how the fuck they missed that call.
Yeah, it looked like one of those
ones
you get him to bite on the pump fake, you get him in the air, you go right up. Usually that's a call every single time. It was kind of like a weird angle where you like hit his shoulder. So like the overhead view, you saw there was much more contact better. Really, really tough no call. Really tough no call, obviously. But again, it's just like the same story. The Pistons just can't close these games out. Another one where it felt like they had it. They did such a good job of coming back. They had all the momentum in the fourth quarter, and just I hate him so much. I hate to do it, but you have to tip your cap to Brunson and Cat. Just unbelievable shot making down the stretch. Brunson came back from that ankle injury, couldn't be stopped. The Knicks couldn't do anything on offense. Came in, he immediately scored like 12 points, and then Towns, the 2 threes. At the end of the shot clock buzzer, and then that shot, the fall away almost over the backboard. 3 of just like the toughest fucking clutch shots you will ever see.
He's such a weird player, like how
who
he
I
can do
have
shit
no
like that.
faith in to hit those shots at all. But like again, I just have no choice but to tip my cap. Like you can be mad about that last call, you can be mad about I think a lot of things, but the Pistons again, kind of like the Nuggets situation. The Pistons easily could have swept this series, and instead they're down 3-1, and that's unfortunately kind of just what I thought was the case. You got just a young, inexperienced team. And yeah, they just can't close these games out, which really sucks because those games are a ton of fun. That series has been so fun. I mean, that game today was so much fun to watch. I just wish it was 2-2. It feels like it's over, and it feels like it deserves to be 2-2. And the Pistons have played well enough, but
the fans do deserve a 2 out of 3. Best 2 out of 3 series. Those teams.
It's too bad, but they're just not. They're not quite ready. They're really not. You can tell, especially some of those late moments. So too bad. I hope they can steal one in New York, send it back, but.
All right. And the other game, we had the Timberwolves 116, Lakers 113. This is a great lineup of games. Yeah, this is awesome. Lakers built themselves up a nice lead in the second half. And then just kind of lost in the fourth. They got outscored 32-19 in the fourth. Anthony Edwards had an absolute monster game too. He had he finished with 43, 9 and 6.
Yep. Great defense.
I saw like a compilation of him just like literally like bullying LeBron. It was crazy. I've never seen LeBron just be getting like pushed around like that, and then without like flopping or getting a call or whatever. And he was definitely getting his head. LeBron had 0 fourth quarter points, I believe. I'm seeing this correctly.
Yeah. Well, I think
the Lakers.
The big point of the game, which is that JJ Redick, for the first time, any coach in NBA playoff history, did not sub in the second half.
For anyone for the whole second half, yeah.
All 5 starters played the entire second half. As amazing as LeBron is, you cannot do that and expect to win. So the boy genius has been foiled, and you can tell they just wore down, and I don't understand
was he just
why.
Pissed at them or something?
I mean, I know he can't really trust the bench. He started Jackson Hayes. He made the adjustment in the second half, and it worked great. The Lakers came out, I think, on a 14-0 run. Everyone's been dying for them to ditch the Jackson Hayes minutes. He finally did it. Okay, but you got to make some subs. You can't just play all these guys. Luka, we know he's not exactly an Adonis when it comes to being in shape. LeBron is fucking old as shit. Like, what are you doing? No shit. They ran out of gas.
Coach to ever do that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That you just said.
Yeah, exactly. It's first time ever. So I mean. you're not going to get the best version of those players. You got to steal 2-3 minutes just so they have something
It's
left in the tank.
way more fun to just say LeBron scored 0 points in the fourth quarter, though.
For sure. But I mean, he had an amazing game. He had that.
If we're
that
being you're talking like a national podcast host right now.
I mean, that block he had on DiVincenzo's layup was incredible. And really, I mean, I'd rather give credit to the Timberwolves because, again, you and I in this series, we both wanted them to win, but coming in, I just didn't really trust the ancillary pieces. They've been fucking amazing. Julius Randle, this is the best basketball I've ever seen him play in my life. I didn't know he was up to this challenge
25-7-3 tonight.
On defense. But it's the defense to me. The defense and the toughness he's playing on LeBron. Like, he's just going toe-to-toe with LeBron, guarding him, tiring him out, and, like, winning or at least breaking even in that battle, which if you told me before the series Randle was going to play LeBron almost even, I was like, you're out of your fucking mind. He's done it. Jaden McDaniels is turned into like a scoring threat. We talked about it last show. He's just realizing you're not going to play a center. I'm as tall as anyone on the court. He's going to the basket, scoring huge hoops over and over. He had massive baskets down the stretch for them. And then Naz Reid, they put Naz Reid back in. I don't think he's missed a shot in the fourth quarter of this series. He hit 3 threes, a huge and one. He's another guy who's guarding. He's not known for his defense, but they're putting him out there for Rudy. He's switching on the perimeter. He's holding his own in one-on-ones with Luka. So again, all these guys, the supporting cast, they've just been, obviously Ant had the 43 points. He's making huge plays, but they're making him give up the ball. And these other guys are just making huge plays, and they're helping him get there so that he can have these moments. But you look at that team, and that's the difference. Where you've got JJ Redick living and dying with 5 guys, and literally dying as they're now down 3-1. With 5 guys he trusts. He basically has 3 guys he trusts. Timberwolves have 8 fucking awesome players. Like, they're 3 bench guys who come in are Naz Reid, DiVincenzo, and Alexander Walker. Like, those guys would start for a ton of teams.
Solid.
And it's just about trust. Again, I think you and I were I kind of believed Edwards would just try to get in a pissing contest with those guys, and he just isn't up for that. He's been amazing. His decision-making, his playmaking, we've talked about. Like, he's not turning the ball over. He's trusting his teammates. And they're rewarding him because they're supporting cast. When you go past the stars, the Timberwolves is so much better. I just didn't think they'd be able to illuminate it this well. Credit to them. Credit to Chris Finch. That was just awesome. I was fired up watching that today. Good for them. Obviously, series not over, but 3-1. And hey, next round, they're going to get the winner of that Warriors-Rockets matchup. Like, that Timberwolves team might be kind of peaking at the right time. And that
frisky,
open it up a little bit. Like, never say never.
Yeah,
so,
it's frisky. So do you...
I like what I'm seeing from them.
You don't think the series is over? I think that's
it's not over. I'm not saying any series with LeBron down 3-1.
I don't see that. I don't see that Lakers team winning 3 games straight.
I don't see it, but you got LeBron, you got Luka. I'm not writing them off. Write them off at your own peril.
All right, I'll write them off.
All right. Face peril. Prepare to face peril.
Fuck you, peril. All right.
We'll see.
And then we got the last matchup. We got it going on right now. Indiana is up 71-59 with about 8:52 left in the third.
Mm-hmm.
You said Dame left the game earlier.
Yeah, so I mean, got to start there. Injury. Awful news. Chris Haynes reporting the fear is that Dame suffered a left Achilles tear. Absolutely brutal. After coming back from this blood clot thing, like, dude, I just
it sucks.
I mean, that's probably you figure that'll be all of next year and maybe a chunk of the next year, given the timing. I don't know, maybe it'll work out, but for a guy that age who's worked so hard to like keep playing at a high level and to just came back from something that we thought might end his career to now suffer one of the most devastating. I wonder if that's basketball injuries.
I don't want to speculate, but I wonder if that's like ramping up quickly or whatever.
Soft tissue. I mean, it's certainly
that sucks.
Yeah, it just sucks.
And isn't Haynes? The Haynes briefs are like with him, right? He's
Dame's
like the little guy.
Oh, he's Dame's guy. Yeah, he also. I noticed Shams was throwing out the first pitch today in Chicago.
Oh, snoozing!
Huge night for Haynes. Huge night for Haynes.
Yeah.
Not even funny, really. I just feel bad.
All right. Do you think? So is this series? I mean, I don't know, the game's going on right now. So let's just do what we did before, because this series will be over. This game will be over by the time people listen. Bold prediction for the night.
No, I think the Pacers hold on. I think last game was the one that Giannis gets them. But again, this is just too much of a mismatch in talent, too much of a mismatch in coaching, too much of a mismatch in depth.
Oh my God. Kuzma just got absolutely dropped on his ass. So I'm also going to say that the Bucks do not win this. This series is over. Indiana
I think it's over for the Bucks, and I think it's over for this version, especially now
of the Bucks.
what do you do? I think get ready for a long offseason of Giannis trade speculation.
Well, yeah. Night, Bucks. Anyway, all right. Well, this was fun again. Celtics get the win tonight. Take the 3-1 series lead. We're feeling good. We're feeling all right. Celtics 107-98. We'll be back here Tuesday. That is going to be a late night, 8:30 start time. The game's going to last 6 hours. Everyone, make sure you get your naps in if needed. We'll be back afterwards. We'll have a live episode for you in the morning. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Hit the subscribe button. Go to the YouTube page. Do the same thing. Let your friends know. Tell your friends. If you're not a good friend, if you don't let them know about Chuddy's Corner, follow us on Twitter at Chuddy's Corner. You can follow him. He's at King Chuddy. I'm at Doug_outs. We'll see you all back here again Tuesday night. Take care.
Peace out, Chuddy.